Hello, fellow flows. Welcome to another episode of Bursting with Energy. If you are new to the channel, welcome. This is where we give cost-free tips on how to increase your energy in all aspects of life. So we talk about all areas of life. I am your host, Jess Flo, life coach and love warrior. And today we're talking passion and career. So if you guys know, this season I always have an expert before going into the participants. And my expert is Max. How are you, Max? Thank you for accepting our invitation. Welcome to Bursting with Energy.
I'm thankful to be here. I'm happy to be here.
All right, so let's get right into it, guys. Like, share, subscribe so everybody gets to understand what's going on, how you can burst with energy, especially with today, which is passion and career. A lot of us feel like we're not in our passion or our calling, and that can sometimes stress us in the workplace. But we want to get the expert to kind of tell us about how we can ride the ups and downs of being in your passion and your career, especially in Montreal, which Montreal is tough. So are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do and how did you get here? So the audience understands.
First and foremost, my name is Max Mupese out of Montreal, Canada. For those of you watching outside of Canada, because we're on a YouTube channel, or even on the internet, people are
France,
watching from
Toronto.
Shout outs to everybody. And to put it in a simple matter, I would say I teach emerging artists how to structure their business and accelerate paid gigs. All that means is simply making sure that they have the right tools for them to get more paid gigs, for them to get more stage performances and get paid. So whenever an artist has a hard time reaching out to PROs, which are performing rights organizations, then I'm going to be the person that's going to tell them, okay, what they have to do in order to reach out to them. Not only that, if they don't have a structure or a foundation for them to get those paid gigs, then we could sit down and find strategies for them to get that.
Awesome. So I want to tell you guys why I picked Max specifically. So in the music industry, we kind of know Americans, we know the French, but we're getting more and more local artists that are amazing. But in Montreal, not just in Montreal, because we do know some Toronto artists, but there's a lot of local artists that we don't know, and Max is helping them get paid gigs, and I feel like that's pretty amazing. It's hard for artists out here. So that's why I was like, you have to be passionate, you have to be patient, you have to have an exceptional journey to be able to do that.
Yes.
So thank you, Max. We're gonna go on with the question. How did you get here? How did this become what you do? Especially in Montreal. I'm gonna emphasize that.
I like that you emphasize especially in Montreal.
Exactly.
Right? So I would say it started out as me being part of a nonprofit organization. And at that time, I wanted a job that, really touched on entertainment business, anything that had to do with me being.
How long ago was this?
2015, so yeah.
7 years?
7 years, exactly.
8 years now?
2023.
Yeah.
Now, what happened was at that time, I just wanted to find different ways for me to, be part of the entertainment business, because the person who was running that nonprofit organization at the time had a lot of experience managing artists, being behind the scenes, organizing events. So I wanted to be that protege where I learned from that individual.
Can I back you up a little bit?
Yes,
Why entertainment?
I feel like that's something I'm naturally gifted at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and that's why I wanted to, because it has to be something that you're good at and that you realize, oh, I can do this. That's also a motivation. Okay.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that throughout my path, I realized I was able to host. I was able to do different things that I didn't even know I was able to do. Now, when I started at those events, I was the person at the door taking the names and the phone numbers, the usher, so to speak.
Yeah.
And from there, I took I took some small steps for me to get to a certain level. And I wasn't necessarily I was getting small pay. Sometimes I'd leave the event, we'd organize, and I would have to promote it too. 30, 40 people show up, I leave out with $5. I didn't really care about the money at that time. What was more important for me was the experience. And from there on, I told myself I could do something a lot bigger than what I did at the beginning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna, because there's a question that's in my mind, but I'm gonna keep it for when we get deeper into the conversation. Okay, so you were doing small jobs, and you worked for the nonprofit, and how did you become now this man that he wrote an ebook, by the way, guys? So when you check your Instagram, you can have access to that, or you can buy it. You'll tell us where you can buy it.
Correct.
And so how did you get to today,
Right.
Max, who's helping artists get gigs?
So right after my experience at with the nonprofit organization, what I did was continuously organize my own events.
Okay.
Because we had a moment where we didn't necessarily see. It's not that we didn't see eye to eye. We
had different ideas.
Exactly, we had different ideas, and I still respect them. Shout outs to the whole organization. What led me to organize what I'm doing, or even do what I'm doing at this moment, is trial and error. Once I told myself, I've had enough experience. I have enough experience based on what I've went through with the nonprofit organization. Might as well just jump and do what I got to do. And I started contacting a lot of people in the city of Montreal who have a lot more experience than me. I don't know if you know about Doudou Boissel. That was one of the life-changing moments I've had. Doudou Boissel was the founder of Jazz Festival. He passed.
Okay.
He passed away right before the pandemic. I would say 2019, 2020. So I had a chance to speak with him over the phone. I asked him a few questions because I knew he had a lot more experience than everybody else as it pertains to the entertainment business. And he told me, just register your name, register your business. And I'm like, okay, that's the first step. And as days were going by, I didn't necessarily have a mentor. I just figured it out when I was.
That's interesting too, because a lot of people get your mentor, but you were like asking questions, doing it yourself, trial and error, figuring it out. The motivation must have been like, it must have been tough sometimes, but I guess like you must have really loved it to keep going and keep trying.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to add to your journey?
I would say me connecting with the right people, me connecting with people who taught me a lot more than I thought I knew at the beginning. Because at the beginning when you start, you're like, okay, I have the internet, I have some people I could talk to, but you don't necessarily know the key people in the game. And those individuals, I still salute them. I call them once in a while. Malik Shahid, Ricky D, Kevin Calix. Those are individuals I was able to learn from. Katie Antoine too, wonderful woman, and just a bunch of great people in the city.
Amazing. Okay, so there was a few gems in there, guys. I hope you caught them. So you're a talent consultant, right?
Yes.
Okay. How do you find talent? Because it must be tough, right? There's so many different genres. There's so many different artists.
Right.
And then how do you know the ones that are passionate enough to follow through?
Great question. I would say the first thing I realize is the body language and the confidence they speak. You got to speak a certain confidence even before you touch a mic or you create your art.
But what about the younger artists? Because the younger artists, they have the confidence, they have the will, but how do you know they'll follow? Is the verbal, is there a difference? Can you tell?
Yeah, so the confidence has to be matched with the grit, the hunger. So if they're not hungry, then right from the first song, I could tell if there may be some inconsistency.
Okay. Yeah.
So as long as they perform, first and foremost, what I realize is going to shows is very important. For me to analyze, I think that's something I was also able
fine-tune to it's like fine-tuning your eye, right? Your skill.
Exactly. Okay. I think I was also able to develop that A&R type of skill. I was going to different shows, even if I wasn't necessarily invited, going to shows, paying attention to who's performing, who are the main acts, and by the first performance, I was able to know, okay, that person may not be performing in the next 3-4 months, and some people took off and some people stopped.
Wow, amazing! This is a random question, but it seems like in everything you're saying, there has to be a kind of humbleness in going into it and not having an ego and being ready to learn and being able to watch and even if you're not invited, some people always want to be invited, right? But just putting yourself out there.
Exactly.
Love it.
I agree.
All right. So there's your passion that you know, you're like, this is what I'm good at, this is what I want to do,
Right.
but you also have to scout people that do that. So you have to have a balance of your passion, but you have to help others balance their passion. How does that how does that work? That must be tough.
Yes, time blocking. Time blocking helps me.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Like the balance, the level of knowing how I have to be organized myself. If I'm not organized, then it's going to be hard for me to help another person organize their schedule.
Exactly.
So I start with self, organize my own schedule, making sure that everything is in order for me to communicate the right way. If I know how to do my own thing, so to speak, then it's going to be easier for me to lay the ground or even tell a person how to do their own thing.
Okay. Has there ever been a period of time where there was an overlap?
Yes. Yes, there was. And those were the times where I wasn't necessarily organized.
Okay.
So it starts with organization.
Okay, organization, decluttering, knowing, okay, this is what's easy for me. So if it's easy for me, it's a lot easier for me to help other people as well.
There you go.
Love it. So why Montreal? You speak English, we're in Canada, okay, so you could pick anywhere technically,
Right.
but why Montreal?
Montreal, I love Montreal, first
Yeah,
and foremost.
I actually love Montreal.
I was born and raised here, and just the idea of, for Montreal itself, it's a very artistic city, number one. And
I realize that as well, that there's a lot of great artists in Montreal that I never would have heard of if I wasn't part of the Indigène production team. So like, I've met amazing artists.
Jeez. And just the idea of them not necessarily having a platform, or some of them have a platform, but it's scattered in a way. It's all over the place for the most part. So as long as I'm able to, offer them a platform where I could connect them with other people who have experience with me, then it can make the job a lot more, it can make the job easier for the most part.
So Montreal, just because you love Montreal.
That, and yeah, just the potential of it.
Of
the
it.
potential.
I do feel like it has a lot of potential. Like if Montreal ever really blows up, it could
Right.
be international.
And right before you go to the next question, sorry, I was going to say, just the idea of us being underdogs in Canada.
That's true.
Because that's one thing I'm always going to vouch for, underdogs. I'm going to speak for underdogs. Toronto has its name.
It
A
does.
lot of people like to talk like Toronto's really the big brother, obviously. But he's looking at us like, okay,
That is true.
it's not your time yet. You're going to wait.
That's true.
It's not
But
your
I do
time.
think Montreal's time will come. I really do.
Exactly.
And we need a Max here to help us with that. So this question, it's a new question that I've been asking our experts, because I do feel like there's the tough parts in the journey, right? So what did you have to sacrifice? And I feel like the audience needs to know that, because sometimes we think, once I know my passion, once I know my career, once I know what I want to do, it'll just be like, I have the path, so I'll just get there. But there's obstacles, there's challenges, there's lessons, right? So what did you have to sacrifice during that journey?
Idle time.
Yeah?
Yeah, idle time, meaning going out for no reason. Like going out is good. However, as long as it's intentional, celebrating a loved one's birthday, creating different memories for other people you love or whatnot. However, when it's to a point where there's no goals or nothing really, it doesn't matter the reason why you're going out.
Yeah.
Then I feel it's pointless. So that I would say was number one. And
Idle time?
yes, and environment as well. So like changing the people I hang out with and making sure that I'm in, like, one thing I like to say is, if you can't change the people around you, you probably heard that too, then change the people around you. You gotta change your environment.
That's actually something that I've been talking a lot about recently, environment and how it has an impact. So you might have all the right keys within you, but unless you change your environment, you might be stuck in a habit. So
Rat race.
yeah, exactly. So idle time and environment. And I love that you brought up idle time, because we also talked about that with the last expert. So it's something that's coming back up, guys. So take that into account. So there's a lot of networking and communication that's needed out of you, right? It's like a skill that you have to build over time. So how did you hone these skills? Because a lot of people say, oh, I need to hone my communication. I have to, up these skills, and they don't really know how to do that. So what did you do?
That's something also I realize is I'm naturally gifted with, connecting with people, and I had to get rid of that mental blockage, telling myself, oh, why should I reach out to this person? They don't know me. Like, just do it. You know, that's something I came up with a strategy by doing it, and then people were asking me how did I do it, and I realized it was just something I did on a natural basis, like something that was casual for me.
I love it because it's just do it, but it's also like finding what you're naturally good at. So the way he communicates is not necessarily the way I communicate, or the way you communicate, or the way anybody communicates. So just looking at what you have that you're capable of, and then just amplifying that and doing it. Just do it.
There you go.
Is there anything else you want to add to that one?
Yeah, so the strategy I was going to tell you about was me DMing people, or even before DMing people and talk about business, I would join people like influencers' lives or any entrepreneur who have a large audience.
Okay.
And anytime we would speak on something specific, I would communicate with the people in the comments as if it was a conference and I'm sitting next to someone and I'm introducing myself.
Okay.
And that worked for the most part. I would say I gained a lot of organic followers that way.
So you communicate with large influencers and then connect with the people that are commenting
all the time.
Ah,
I would focus on them more than the speaker.
Okay, that's nice.
And people were asking me how did I come up with that? I realized it was something I was just doing naturally.
Wow.
Because I really care about what they're saying, so I'm gonna respond to them.
That's a good one. Even I like that one because I'm really good with connecting with people in person. Social media has been rough for me. I'm better at it. I'm a lot better at it than when I first started, but that's a good one. All right. Anything else you want to add for that one?
That's it.
Communication, no? And networking. What about networking? Because it's not just through the internet, right?
Right. So networking, like I said earlier, was me going to events where I wasn't necessarily invited. However, it was in the context of promoting local artists. And me showing up there, one thing I realized is that you always have to make yourself feel or look important, even if you're lost. That's one thing I've always was good at. Like let's say I'm at the bar and I'm not necessarily drinking alcohol. I could be drinking cranberry juice like 50 does. Hilarious. And I would pay attention to who are the movers and shakers at the event, who are the organizers. First thing first, I would introduce myself, say, hey, I like the event. I don't know what you got going on. I'm just Max Mupay, say this and that. Not necessarily telling the person I'm looking for something. I'm just gonna
introducing yourself so that if you see them next time, you already have a connection. Like, oh, I know you too.
And from there, after the event, sometimes it would happen after the event, the person would reach out to me afterwards. Hey, thank you for shouting me out, blah blah blah, and hopefully we could connect another time.
That's
so
nice.
That was the simple way I would start.
Okay, so just do it. So get rid of those limiting stories, the burden of the pressure of putting it on yourself, and just try it because you never know. And even if you do fail, guys, just try again because it is your passion. It is something you love, and maybe you know that you are actually good at it, but your mind is just having all this chatter that's stopping you from trying. You never know what can happen. So for artists, because I feel like the tips that you have, they apply to any area of career or passion that you have. So what would 2 tips be that you have for emerging artists?
First tip, I would say, you got to believe in yourself. You have to. It's probably cliche, people heard it 100 times.
No, but it's important. It really is important.
And when I say believe in yourself, you got to have you have to have a system in place for you to constantly repeat what you're good at, what you've been through, that helped you get to another level, to the next level.
So it's like reinforcing that belief in yourself.
There you go. So reinforcing that belief. And then second, I would say get good at connecting with people. You got to get good at connecting with people. A lot of introverts in the game, music business specifically, or even artistic. And one thing you could do is, connect with people who are already at a certain level, and you would want to be at that level.
So it's like a target, and you're going there to get to. It's like step by step. When you were saying step by step, that you have to know what's the next step, and having someone there to like visualize it, I guess it does help know what the path is. Even though it's gonna be a little bit different for you, knowing and believing in yourself is gonna help you get to that.
Exactly.
So tip number 1, believe in yourself.
And then tip number 2 would be connecting with people who have more experience than you.
Yeah.
People who have, you could become their protege, you could become their student. That's going to eventually help you change environments or
That's true.
challenge yourself in a
Yeah.
certain way.
Yeah. Love it. All right. So, is there anything else before I go into your services, products, what you offer? Is there anything else you want to tell the audience about passion, career, about you, or about what you do, or just mindset?
Pretty much the way I keep it is the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Yeah, I say that too.
So
Oh, that's amazing.
I like to end it off with that. For anybody who's watching this, anybody who wants to know what do I mean by that, is that the way you organize your day to day is going to be the same way you're going to organize everything you have in your car.
Yes.
You can't necessarily say, "Oh, well, my car's clean," and then you look at your finances; they're all in scramble. So everything you focus on that you're able to organize is going to have a domino effect, and everything else in your life is going to be the same.
So just focusing, if you're doing one, if you really want to focus on one thing, instead of focusing on everything in your life, focus on one thing, get good at that, and it's going to have that domino effect.
There you go.
Love it. All right, so what do you offer, especially for emerging artists? What is it that you can help them with? I know you said a little bit at the beginning, but if you can go more in
detail.
Yeah.
Got it. So first thing first, I have the free ebook.
Okay.
And after that, I have other products.
The name?
So the free ebook is a 10-step formula on how to get paid gigs.
Okay.
No, sorry, 10-step formula on how to get paid gigs. That's the book you get to buy.
Okay.
Before that is the 3 steps to be a valuable emerging artist.
Yes, that's one.
So 3 steps to be a valuable emerging artist. I have 3 simple steps. Like one thing I like to break down in that book is having workable traits.
Okay.
What do I mean by workable traits? Is like I was saying earlier, every time I'd show up at an event and I was paying attention to who were performing at the event, I'd pay attention to small details such as, okay, the artist that's done performing, what do they do after their performance? Do they hand over the mic to the organizer, the promoter, and then leave, or do they sit or stay at the end of the event and shake hands and kiss babies like politicians? So that's something I talk about in that book, 3 steps to be a valuable emerging artist. And then the 10-step formula on how to get paid gigs. I touch a lot more in details on how to really get those paid gigs.
Okay.
Making sure that you position yourself in a way where promoters are going to keep calling you and you build relationships with them.
Wow. And this is in Montreal, guys, so you can get paid here.
Absolutely, it happens. Because I was also the promoter who was paying those artists too.
Okay, that's amazing. No, because I know a lot of artists that they struggle with those things, so this could be very useful for them. All right. Is there anything else? Because I know you do consultation as well, one-on-one.
Yes, absolutely. So once you're done reading the 3-step formula, 3 steps to become a valuable emerging artist, you could call me. It's going to be a 1-hour consultation. I want to have a fee, or a 15-minute clarity call where I have an idea of what you do, and I could give you a few tips and tools to eventually.
So you help them map it out.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Amazing. So you guys are not alone. That's why I wanted to have experts on, so that you could see in different aspects of your life there is somebody there to help you. And I'm sure you do it online as well, right? You don't have to necessarily be in Montreal to access you, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Amazing. Is there anything else you want to tell our audience before we leave, or
I'd say
we go into the participant section?
Stay committed to who you are. Stay true to who you are. As long as you have something you want to embrace that you may feel that other people don't necessarily embrace that. Embrace that.
I love it, because you see that through your journey, it just reinforced your mindset that I'm good at this, I can do this,
Exactly.
I embrace it, and this is what I offer.
That's it.
Awesome, thank you.
Appreciate it.
I hope you guys appreciated Max and all the advice that he has. You can check out his Instagram, check out his ebooks, or have a consultation with him. He is there. So we're going to end it there. Hi, everyone. Hi, audience. We are back with our participants. It has been a while since we had participants, so I'm really excited to see what we're going to be doing today. I have Cindy with me and Nelly with me. I'm not going to tell you what they do, because our game is going to be guessing what they do, what their passion is. So like you guys know, our breathing challenge is this season. since next month it's going to be in the mind of people, we're going to do our competition on episode. I'll come back to you with what episode, but it won't be in February. It's going to be in March. The competition is going to be in March. So we're going to start with our breathing challenge, which is for 1 minute. I want you guys to breathe in deeply, breathe in, like, breathe, just fill yourself up completely, relax yourself, and then you're going to hold your breath for as long as you can. Whoever holds their breath the longest wins an essential oil. And I have Neroli here with me. Okay? So are you guys ready? I'm going to put the timer. It's going to get us to relax also. The best way to breathe, if you guys remember the first episode, the best way to breathe is breathe into your stomach, breathe into your chest, and breathe deep, breathe out, inhale deep, and exhale deep as well. And then that'll help you with holding your breath longer. Are you guys ready? Get relaxed. Y'all like sat up like, okay. No, it is a competition, so that's good. All right, ready? So I'm going to give you 1 minute, and at 5 seconds, I'm going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. Okay? Go ahead. So breathe in deeply. We're going to trust Nelly because she has her mask. We're going to trust her. Okay. There you go. So at home, breathe in deep if you guys want to do the competition, see if you beat their time. I think so far the best time was Baby Twice, right? I'll check that again. But we have Baby Twice in the competition, and we have Abdel in the competition. Breathing in deep, breathing out. We're at 25 seconds, guys. Oh no, you're not holding your breath yet. Wow!
Are you kidding?
Wow!
I was like,
okay, we're gonna start over.
It's like, damn.
No. No. I'm giving you 1 minute to breathe completely,
Child.
and then at 5 seconds, I'm gonna tell you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you hold your breath.
Okay.
And whoever holds their breath the longest, yeah. So the 1 minute is to like
actually breathe.
to get your poumon ready to hold your breath.
Okay.
And you're doing it poumon plein. So you inhale and then you hold your breath. Okay. Ready? 1 minute. Go ahead. So we're starting over at home. If you don't hold your breath at home, and you just breathe in deep and exhale deep. Connecting to your body, connecting to your lungs, connecting to your breath, your oxygen, because the oxygen is consciousness as well. So just strengthening that mindset. Mindset really helps in this activity as well. But completely, it's mindset, but you have to completely relax your body too. And why does this competition help? Because CO2 helps you circulate the oxygen in your body. So we have 15 seconds, guys, of deep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath. And Cindy wins. Nelly, I think you did worse than Alexa. Do you guys remember how I think Alexa did about 20 seconds? You did about 20 seconds.
Nice.
Okay, so working on the breath work. Oh gosh, I think we got the farthest. It was 1.5 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, the guys did really well. Okay, so there you go.
Thank you.
And she looked a lot more calm than you were like,
Yeah.
what is going on here? So our next game is Guess Who. And so basically what you're going to do is you're going to pick your passion, pick your calling, your career, right?
Okay.
And so you're going to describe what you do without saying what you do. And the other person has to guess what you do. So pick the title in your head. And at home, if you guys can guess as well, you can win a sample oil. So let us know in the comment section. It doesn't have to be during the live chat. Let us know in the comment section. You guys have the title in mind?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna be chaotic. I have two, okay? So, I have two. So do I do the two?
No,
Just
pick
one.
the
I
one,
pick
yeah.
one?
Unless they're in the
No.
same field,
They're
and then
really
you can
not.
Okay, okay. Pick the one that you feel like the little girl in you would be happy.
Okay. Okay.
But then
Yeah.
how do you describe it without actually saying what
So let's say I offer services where people get to be in tune with what they really want to do. So I help you step by step achieve your goal. What are you guys gonna guess?
life coach?
Same. Yeah.
But you guys also know what I do.
But that's the description, though. Yeah.
So you'll describe and you'll use as many description words as you can. I'm gonna give you a minute to guess. The other
Yeah,
person a minute
'cause
to
I-
guess. So think about it,
Okay.
and then whoever wants to go first, whoever's ready will go first.
That's really a hard one.
Yeah, because
Does
you
it
have to be
have
able.
to be
It's like your elevator pitch. You're describing what you can do without telling us the word.
Okay.
Telling us the title. I should say. I love how you guys are thinking about this. How would you describe what you do to a kid?
Oof.
Oh, your reactions are at home. Also, if you want to put in the comments what you do, describing what you do, and then we can guess.
That's hard.
That's really hard.
I don't think a kid could understand what I do. He'd be like,
No,
that
put
doesn't
it in
make
simple
sense.
words. The best. Everyone should be able to understand what you do.
Okay.
Some people are going to be more interested, but they'll be like, "Oh, I know what she does." Ready, guys? Y'all are taking a long time to make
Okay.
So who's starting?
Are you ready?
I don't think
Okay.
so.
Let's do rock, paper, scissors. And the winners have
Yes,
to
I love
blurt
it.
it out.
Bursting the kid, the inner kid in us.
Okay.
Love it.
Rock.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay.
She was gonna hide her.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Oh man, I really pained myself on that one.
So you
No,
win,
but
so
you
start?
win.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rock beats.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
played
you didn't
myself.
want. No, but you get to pick. You get to pick.
I guess
Yeah,
okay. You
because you're the
start.
winner. She's like, I won, but I lost.
I really did.
So I would say my
Okay, wait, okay. Let's give her a stop clock so she doesn't take more than a minute to guess. Okay.
So I would say my ultimate goal in my career is to help communities get healthier.
So you're a dietitian.
No.
Communities?
Yes. The emphasis is in community. So some people try to get individual healthier. My approach is a community approach.
Whew, that's hard. Communities. I'm trying to think.
And if you guys can guess at home as well, then go ahead. Helping communities become healthier.
Communities.
Yes.
Like it has to be like a speaker, something, a health,
A health. Yeah.
something.
Yes.
Speaker.
No, not speaker. But you're
A
health.
health advisor.
That's one of the title that I could do, but you have to guess the field.
The field.
Yeah.
The field is not health.
It's something health.
It's a specific field.
Community health. Communal health.
Oh.
You're getting there?
Girl. Demographic health.
You're getting there.
One more guess. One more guess.
Demographic health speaker.
Now you're putting all the words you said all together. All right,
That's my
tell us
final
what
guess.
you do.
It's actually public health. So
Communal health was really close to that.
Yeah.
Our health
Yeah, I
advisor was
Yeah.
was close to that.
Okay.
So what we do is that instead of looking at like clinical work, it's that you look at the health of people individually and
Okay.
you try to prevent disease. Public health, we look at the health of the community, of the population involved, and we try to identify different barriers in the system that prevent people from a certain community to be healthy. And those community can be marginalized community, like
Okay.
the Black community, indigenous community, LGBTQ, anything that a marginalized group that had been forgotten by the system, and we're trying to
Okay.
make them healthier.
Okay.
So why are they getting sick? How can we make them healthier?
How is
Okay.
the system
See,
preventing
you can explain
their...
that to us when we look at a community. We ask why are they getting sick, and we help them get healthier.
Interesting.
And the child would understand that.
Okay. Very interesting. So, as I said, I have two passions. So I'll describe the one that I feel is like more related to what you could do.
Okay.
So,
Ready?
yeah. Okay. So I work. It's so hard. It's so specific. Okay. I work with people who need help. I don't know how to say it without being. They need help with life skills and fine motor skills, social skills,
Physiotherapy.
Yeah, close, but it's not therapy. I work in a
Kinesiology.
no, okay. I work in a school.
In a school.
Yeah.
Psychoéducatrice.
Yeah, close. It's gonna be very hard to guess.
I want to guess. No, I wanna guess.
Okay.
These people could have a psychoeducator. I'm just not it.
We'll give you 2 more guesses.
Okay.
Anything else you think?
Okay. I can't say it because it's
Yeah,
in the
no,
title.
okay.
It's very specific. That's why it's hard.
Synonym?
They have a hard time connecting with people.
Oh, okay. Like people in the spectrum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I would say ortho. No, I don't know.
You're close though.
Okay, we'll stop there. Can I guess?
Yes.
Is it like a guidance counselor?
I am not.
No.
I just do interventions with children with autism.
Ah, so okay. So you do.
I'm a class assistant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your passion and career with us, guys.
Mhm.
Amazing. Were you guys able to guess it at home? And did you guys give us the description of what you do? So we're gonna go into our discussion part. All right? Sounds good? Did you guys like the game?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw your mind like working. That was pretty funny. All right, so the discussion part is that I want you guys to picture, now that you know what your passion is, you know what you like, who you are, I want you to picture like your inner passion warrior. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna get that inner passion warrior, you're gonna visualize it, and then we're gonna talk about the energy behind that.
Okay.
Okay? And then we'll also talk about a little bit of the tips that Max gave us earlier. I'll reiterate it for Cindy.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about how you guys use that in your passion and career.
Mm.
Okay? So think, visualize, go into your inner self, picture your passion, picture your career, and then tell us what so it could be a character, it could be fiction or non-fiction character,
Okay.
but how do you visualize? It could be like a sumo wrestler, it could be a knight, it could be whatever you guys, just a personage that you guys picture, a warrior, like I picture myself as a love warrior, right?
Okay.
So what do you guys picture as your inner passion warrior? And then whoever's ready first, let us know. Like when you need to go beast mode. I'm an interventionist, but you know you'll be more gentle with children.
Do you want us to say like what's the ultimate goal that we're trying to reach?
No, I want you to give
Like
us the
picture
imagery.
your job like as a like cartoon character.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it could be someone that's living too. So it could be nonfiction or fiction. It could be a character, cartoon. It could be Will Smith. I don't know. It could be, but your inner warrior. It could be a sumo wrestler, like because you know they have like they're grounded. They're in the focus. They're strong. It could be an animal. Those are good too.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Okay. I think I have something.
Your inner warrior that you release. It's like when you're at the gym and you have to go like, but in your work environment.
Okay, well, I feel like my character, fictional, whatever, would be not so much as a warrior.
Yeah, me neither. I think it's more.
Yeah, it's like more calm.
Okay, but this is what motivates you in your passion, right?
Yeah.
This is what
Yeah.
gets you going. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we won't use the word warrior. What word? Your inner energy?
Okay.
Your inner, I don't know, your inner essence. Yeah, characterize your inner essence.
I would say, like, if I had to characterize it, it would be like a tough love kind of mother.
Motherly love. I love
Yeah.
that because, that's a really good one. Because I've also heard someone say like a nurse would be like their inner. That's good.
Yeah.
A tough love mother. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say mine would be like a guardian angel for the
Oh,
community.
yeah.
To be like, what do you need, and try to provide what you need.
I love it. Okay, so we're gonna talk about. First, this just came to me, but I want to talk about because sometimes when we have a character, there's a story behind it,
Okay.
right? So I want to talk about the pros and the cons behind the
Okay.
characters you picked.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. So we'll start with you since you went first. We'll talk about the inner mother, the energy that
Okay.
a tough love mother has to come in with, right? You're kind of taking that with you through your journey, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what are the pros and cons of that, and how can it drain your energy versus increase your energy?
Okay. Well, the pros, I would say, is my job. Why I love my job is it makes me work on myself. And I'm a person who likes to constantly evolve. So I constantly have to evolve of the things that are hard for me, things that I want to work on, like patience. I'm already a very patient person, but I swear this job requires me to be patient.
Yeah,
I don't
because you're
have a
working with
choice.
children, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a choice. So I would say pros is you work on yourself. It's also kind of a con because working on yourself is not
It's a lot.
easy.
It's not.
It's
You
really
have to
not
observe
easy.
yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to really get to know your inner self.
Especially when it comes to kids, I feel like you have to have that control over yourself because you don't want to project on them.
Yes.
You don't want to create trauma where it's not, and you're there to help them too. So I would say pro, I have to work on my patience.
Which can also be a con. So I like that.
Yeah. Another pro would be learning, just in general, because when you work with people on the spectrum, it's a spectrum, as it says. So nobody is the same. So you have to have a different approach with everyone. So versatility, whatever.
Being versatile.
We get it.
Versatility. Cons.
I like that. Wait, I want to stop you there because Max talked a lot about learning and putting yourself out
Yeah.
there. So comes back to that.
Yeah. Con. I would say a con is when you work with children in general. I feel like a con is you have so much patience for the children, you lose patience when it comes to the adults in your life.
Ah, c'est vrai.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I work with. I don't have patience for
Because
adults.
you feel like working with adults, it's harder than working with kids.
No.
It's like you should
Yes.
know.
Yes. Yes.
You should
Because
know.
you're an adult. Like you know better. Especially like I'm very
But
passionate about
I
it.
think adulthood is the biggest scam ever. People are
It
actually
is.
adult.
It
They're,
is.
Like some people stop growing at 15 and they're still the
Do you
same
guys
person they
remember-
were at 15.
Yeah.
Does the audience, do you guys remember Bursting with Decisions? What was one of the biggest challenges? And it was adulting. A lot of the things people kept bringing up was adulting is tough. Because
Mhm.
you have to be accountable for yourself.
Yeah.
Being accountable for yourself is tough. Because
Yeah.
now it's like, now you have to, and if you have a child included in that, you have to be responsible for yourself.
And
And
the
a child.
child. So get yourself together.
And that's why I was asking. That's why I was asking Max about like having his passion and the artist passion, because you're not only accountable for you, you're accountable for another
The
adult.
artist, yeah. Whew, it's a lot.
Okay, so
There
the
you go.
con is you lost patience with you lose patience.
It's like draining because you take every ounce of your being, especially because they can get aggressive, right? So you have a lot that you're going through in your head. So the minute something is out of, I feel like also it made me more of like a maniac, or I'm more of like a free spirit. Because if things in that environment aren't done the way ABC, you kind of like, I don't know, I absorb the autistic energy, and you know, with autistic people, it's very, things have to be done A, B, C,
Yeah.
or you know, they don't understand. So we have to do that for them, and when someone else doesn't do it, it's creating all this confusion, all this
Yeah.
stress, all this pressure. So yeah. I feel like that's the kind, like, it's
Interesting.
making me something I'm not, because I'm a free spirit in real life. Like, I just
So you have
told
to
you,
find
I'm
a way to
really
balance that
disorganized.
as well.
That's what he said, something about balance, and I was like, that's what I'm lacking. Like,
Mm.
I'm a everywhere kind of person. Like, I really want to go with the flow, but then when
In that
you're asked
environment.
to be put like in a box, then it gets stressful, and you have to find that balance where you're fine in the box and you're fine out of the
That's-
box.
But doesn't that also make you stronger?
It
Because
does.
You know how like being versatile. I was
Mhm.
versatility is not even a word. We need to check. that.
Girl,
Being versatile.
it is now.
But it opens you up to that as well. So you know when she said like having to learn about yourself can be a con, but I feel like in the short term, in the long term, it's a pro.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that was good. I like that. So now guardian angel, speak to us.
I feel like the pros is you really do have to understand people, get out of your own head. And to me, I work in science, and I work and I want to work with like underprivileged community. So there's a big distrust between the scientific community and underprivileged community, because in science, this community were marginalized, used.
So there's a gap.
Yeah.
Abused,
So
yeah.
to now be able to get those community to trust science, to say like we can use science to actually really improve your life. It's like you have to work on the trust. You have to be willing to listen to them, listen to what they really want and how they want to improve their life and how they want to live their life. Because a big part of science and medicine is that there's a huge racist and colonial legacy. So science, the way we see science, the way we do medicine has been taught by white people.
Yeah.
And then you want to try to you want to use it as a tool to improve the life of like Black people, indigenous
and the
people.
history
And
of how they got their medicine is really not good for Black people.
It's
and
really
these are
not.
people that never really liked Black people or indigenous people, and now you want to try to use the tools they put up to help those community. So it's like you have to think of the way science works and identify the different way it doesn't work for those community and change it.
Is this a pro or con? Because I think you said pro first, and then I was like,
Pro is the fact that I have to listen to people,
Okay.
really get out of my way and not think that I know better what's better for
Yeah.
a community.
Yes.
They
And I
know
think
better
that's
than me what's
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah.
So it's really good that I get to work on my listening skill.
yeah.
Bad is that you have to challenge a whole system. You have to have the guts to be like, this doesn't work. Although like scientific people and people in medicine have been put in our society very high way up.
Yeah.
So to challenge those people and tell them what you're doing is not good, what you're doing is not good for those community, it's hard,
Yeah.
but it's worth it, I think so.
You know what came through when you were saying all that is like it's kind of like being the mediator, which is why I understand why you pick like a guardian angel, right? Because you have to understand what worked, what didn't work with what they had, and then what worked and didn't work with the community, and kind of merge that and bring that together. That's really interesting. It could be tough, but like I feel like it just births new ideas and this whole creativity of being able to bring medicine and maybe traditions and community together.
Exactly.
It's very cool.
I think it's really interesting too, because as you said, in marginalized communities, like when you were talking, I was thinking of Sarah Bartman. Do you know her story?
No.
So okay.
Explain.
So basically, like in the 1800s, she was I don't know how to say it in English. She was like a black woman
she was a slave that they used.
that they used to
basically, everything we know about gynecology is based on her. They
Yes.
used her
Okay.
as like.
I recently heard this. Did I hear this from you, or did I,
I
hear
don't know.
this? I recently
they
heard this.
used her for all the research.
They
Yeah.
used her as an entertainer. Like
I
she
know
would,
her, I heard this.
they would dress her in like nude, tight clothing, and then ask her to growl on stage like an animal, and then they rate her. And then when she died, they cut her
Okay.
labia and exposed it in a medium, and that's like
And that's
every
just one.
That's
of the
one
of the
story.
many. Like medicine, without indigenous and black people, medicine would not have got into where we are today.
Or like,
we were used as like guinea pig for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And that's why the mistrust. That's why now, if you tell black people, go get vaccine,
Yeah.
go get, they'll look at you like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
yeah.
And they have the right to do that because they've been in the past used for many things that were not for their own benefit.
Yeah.
Like the woman who was
That's true.
you probably know more than me. The woman, the black woman that's the first the cells. I don't know how to say it in English, you guys. Les
What cells?
cellules. Not the cells that they
The cellules.
use to replace cellule souche.
Oui.
So the woman that was discovered that had the first cellule souche, she was a black woman, and they waited till she was dead to use her cells that are still now used in medicine.
Oh, I did hear about this. I did, yeah.
I didn't.
No? Yeah, I heard about this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dropping knowledge.
A lot of knowledge. And you know, being able to even do their own research in your passion and career is going to amplify your knowledge, and it's going to amplify also not just your knowledge in that field, but of yourself and your history and where you're trying to go. And it might be a dark history, but it does light up the path that
Yeah.
you're going towards. So that's why I wanted to really touch on the pros and the cons. Thank you guys. Amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna actually ask you also the energy that you guys had to. Max told us about having to believe in yourself and making the connections, right? Those were like two of the tips, two of the big things that he talked about. How do you apply this to your own life? And your own life, but in your passion and in your career. Because I'm
Connection
guessing and believing in yourself and connections. Because we can't only être humain, like human being is being around human beings. A lot of what you do involves human beings. You couldn't have gotten your passion and career to where it is without all those people that influenced that mindset to where you are today, right? So how did believing in yourself and making connections bring you to where you are today?
I don't think I would have got so far in like school if it wasn't for everyone around me. When I didn't believe in myself, other people did believe in myself. They reminded me like, and I don't know if they reminded me or they made me believe because they were so convinced that I would be this smart girl and I was meant to succeed that like every time I felt like I was a failure, that I didn't have what it takes, that other people were way better than me. Yeah. The voice of other people kept ringing in my ear and I was like, I don't know, they see something in me. I want to see that same stuff
But
in
it didn't bring pressure to you?
It did, but in a good way. Sometimes pressure is good.
I love that. Because some people would have taken that pressure and used it as an excuse.
Yeah.
But you used it as a fuel.
Yeah.
And so you see, it's that mindset. And I love that you use that energy in that way. Oh, that's amazing. So community.
So what he said really spoke to me too earlier because I like to think of myself as a delusional queen. Honestly, but delusion will get you so
It
far in
will.
life.
Dream big.
Like the job I have right now, I didn't really have any experience in that field, but I had quit my other job because I wanted to work in that field and I didn't have a job for 2 months. So when I got there and I got the interview, I was like, you need me. And you have to present yourself in a way. Well, that's what I strongly believe. You have to present yourself in a way that you're like 10 steps ahead of where you already are. Because people are not going to buy where you already. You're selling your dream, basically. So that or the music, my other passion.
Yes.
I feel like it's the same thing. Like I started managing my friend like a few years ago because I just had so much belief in her talent. I was like, I'm your manager. I didn't even ask her. I was like, okay, I'm your manager now. And it just worked. So I believe that believing in yourself, or not even yourself, believing in people around you, having a belief is so important because then you have something to aspire to.
Yeah.
And if you guys remember the theme of the month, mindset. So that's what all this was really about. Amazing. And something she brought up, she's like, she didn't have a job for 2 months. And that Max also brought up was that he was doing little jobs that did not pay a lot, but that eventually got him to where he was. So not being afraid to like, at one point you might be a little bit in lack, but still believing. You don't have, even though you're in lack, you don't have the lack mindset. You believe in yourself and you're like, you know what, this journey, this experience is gonna get me to where I wanna go. So those baby steps.
But not just only like believing in yourself, but giving yourself space to learn. Because yes, you can believe in yourself, but if you don't give yourself space to learn, then you're just cocky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I know I can get
The
there.
humbleness.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Was there anything else you wanted to add about having energy that bursts, like that really bursts into your passion and your career?
If I would have to say something is like, yes, you're gonna have energy about your passion, but there's also a time where it's gonna be really tough. Like there's gonna be downs, and the downs are down. You need to be motivated. Like I try to make myself vision boards to know where I'm going, because
recently
you
did
need
that.
like a reference.
A
point.
reminder, an anchor.
Even if it's just working out, it doesn't have to be like a big dream. Like working out is hard.
It
You
is.
do it, and then you stop getting motivation. So motivation and discipline. Like even do it when it's hard and you don't want to do it.
I was gonna say discipline.
Yeah.
Like it's a good thing to believe
discipline
in
is a big
yourself,
one.
but if you don't have discipline,
It doesn't-
It won't get you that
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, nothing.
Discipline is the most important thing.
Yeah. It really
Thank
is.
you guys. Is there anything else you want to add to me?
No, I think that believe in yourself and be disciplined enough
Um,
to work for your dream. Because it's one thing to say, "Oh, I have a dream and I really want this," but
Yeah.
do you work hard enough to actually achieve that dream? If you don't, then maybe it's not really something you're really trying to achieve.
Exactly.
Mm.
And another thing that you guys can do as a like to kind of gauge where you are is just look at your behavior, look at your habits. Are they actually bringing you towards your goal? Are they pushing you away from your goal? So if you're saying something and you're doing something else, then they're not in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So your mindset is always going to show you the result of where you are.
Mhm.
All right, so that's all for Bursting with Passion and Career. Thank you, everyone, for being here and for sharing your story, for sharing your passion. It is something that is dear to us, so we need a lot of courage to be able to do that and to go through the journey. So that's all for today. If you guys do need help with getting on track with your goals, then you know I'm here. You can always go on my Instagram, you can always watch YouTube, or you can always have a consultation with me. So bye, guys. Happy Sunday. That was